Good day. My name is Stephen Michael Palmer. Have lived in Plymouth for 19 years. Candidate for the Redevelopment Authority, which is an urban planning and economic development. I have been an elected town meeting member for 4 years, which I enjoy, but you might have seen my signs, picking up trash, cutting grass, etc. First of all, I didn't vote for the new Plymouth South High School, or the new town hall, or the $38 million sewer line mistake, for I don't believe in spending taxpayers' money on buildings we already have. All I know is that my taxes keep going up hundreds and hundreds of dollars year after year, and they are passing out $35,000 raises up at the State House with public's money. Our money, not their money for the taking. Plymouth's town manager, which is appointed by our worthy selectmen of America's hometown, makes more than the governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. She says she works real hard. The budget of Plymouth this year was $225 million. The total of the Redevelopment Authority budget is $21,000. I have watched Pine Hills and Red Brook grow year after year with taxes going up and up. Plymouth is taxing families out of their homes. We need a plan for affordable housing to promote stability for current and future Plymouth residents, to allow responsible growth. It's time to bring some new innovative thinking to Plymouth's government. When elected, I will help the cause to the best of my ability. I'm asking you for a vote. Stephen Michael Palmer for the Redevelopment Authority. Thank you very much.
My name is Anita Texera Rocheteau, and I'm a candidate for the Redevelopment Authority position. The Plymouth Housing Authority is a public-private entity. It has unique powers when it comes to community housing. The Redevelopment Authority can work with local, state, and federal housing organizations to secure funding in grants and through public and private partnership. I believe I can be instrumental in helping Plymouth residents change how they think about housing. We need to create affordable housing for our seniors, veterans, and general public. Planning and development of our town is affecting the quality of life for our residents. This to me is unacceptable. Plymouth is the fastest growing town in New England. The population is growing, and the housing that is being built in the private sector is not affordable for the average working person. We need to expand our housing stock to accommodate affordable housing. If we do not move towards this goal, we are pricing people out of Plymouth. I believe the Redevelopment Authority has an obligation to help improve the quality of life for its citizens by building stronger communities. Thank you.
Hello, Plymouth residents and voters. My name is Kevin Joyce, and I'm running for Planning Board. I am asking for your vote on Saturday, May 20th. Polls, by the way, are open 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. I have lived in Plymouth for about 14 years, and since moving here from Canton and Stoughton, Mass., I became very active in town government. I am presently a town meeting member for approximately the last 13 years and former chair of that precinct. I am also 12-plus year member of the Cedarville Steering Committee and former chair of that committee. I am the chair of the Disabilities Commission presently, member of the Cable Advisory Committee, former member of the Consolidation Committee, former member of the Downtown Parking and Garage Ad Hoc Committee, and former member of the Cedarville Master Plan Committee. In my spare time, I volunteer at the National Cemetery in Bourne, and I deliver Meals on Wheels weekly. I developed the Cedarville Free Library, located at the Little Red Schoolhouse. I wrote and was awarded a nearly $10,000 grant to replace all the windows in the Little Red Schoolhouse. I was instrumental in having the Welcome to Cedarville sign reinstated at the entrance to the Cedarville Village. And I championed the development of the mini mall where the Blueberry Muffin is now located. Yes, I do get involved. I'm running for planning board for a number of reasons, and again, allow me to take a minute of your time to tell you why. The present planning board is simply not functioning for you, the taxpayer. The planning board is not business friendly. In order to help lower or at least curb our property tax rate, the planning board needs to be proactive. Too frequently, commercial developers have to jump through many hoops over and over to receive approvals. This is not only causes delays, but additional costs for the builders, and more importantly, no additional tax revenue for you, the taxpayer. My opponent is more concerned with walking trails and bike paths than helping reduce the rising cost of property taxes. Do you realize that our property tax rate has risen over 70% in the last 10 years? Something has to be done to stop this, or at least address it. I would like the opportunity to do something about this. Again, thank you for your time, and please vote for Kevin Robert Joyce on Saturday, May 20th. If you would like to help in any way, that's hold a sign, make a donation, even fill out envelopes for me, you can reach me at kevinforchange@gmail.com. That's Kevin, spelled K-E-V-E-N, for change, F-O-R-C-H-A-N-G-E, @gmail.com. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Malcolm McGregor, candidate for the Plymouth Planning Board. I've learned over 45 years of service that communities can control their future if they are clear about their goals and if they understand how to protect and leverage their resources. I was appointed to the Conservation Commission in 1972 and quickly realized that as Plymouth grew, it would need better control over its water supply. The result was the creation of the Aquifer Protection Bylaw, which I co-authored. That bylaw strengthens the quality of our drinking water supply. I served on this Conservation Commission for 15 years, 10 as chairman. In 1985, I was elected to the Planning Board, where I served for 30 years, 6 as chairman or vice chairman. While the Conservation Commission is responsible for environmental protection, the Planning Board is responsible for physical development and long-range planning. During my 30 years on the Planning Board, I helped transform the zoning bylaws, adding greater flexibility and development options. One example is the transfer of development rights that allow the town, working with landowners, to shift where and how development takes place. This is the foundation of the A.D. Makepeace mixed-use village development in South Plymouth, which has resulted in the preservation of over 1,400 acres of nearby forests and bogs. Another example is the open space mixed-use development bylaw, which made possible the Pine Hills community, which is one of the most environmentally sustainable developments in New England. For the past 7 years, using my expertise in geographical information systems, I have been working with the Planning Board and Open Space and others to map and expand contiguous woodland corridors that enhance our environmental tourism and provide open space buffers, wildlife and trail corridors, enhanced aquifer protection, and climate moderation. Going forward, we should create new tools that are responsive to shrinking public budgets and greater demands on land and resources. Our challenge now is to stabilize the base of our income by creating a comprehensive and targeted process that focuses on expanding our historical and environmental tourism, on enhancing light industry, on developing office space, and improving specialty downtown retail. My experience and expertise make me a strong, prolific member of the Plymouth Planning Board. Please go to the polls on Saturday, May 20th between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. and vote for Malcolm McGregor for Planning Board. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Michelle Badger, and I live at 35 Dorothy Drive, and I'm seeking re-election for my third term on the Plymouth School Committee to continue to work on behalf of all of you to improve the high-quality education provided to our students through the Plymouth Public Schools. It has been a great honor to serve the town of Plymouth on the school committee for the last 6 years, with 5 of those being as vice chair. As I have done since I was elected, I plan to continue to bring the perspective of someone who went through the school system, as someone who weighs the pros and cons and listens to all involved to make the best decision for our students, teachers, and administrators to be as successful as possible. Someone who listens to community members to make sure their concerns are addressed and brings the perspective of someone who works with college students every day. With the ever-changing technology, education standards, and testing, we have a lot to accomplish in the next few years, and here are a few of my top priorities. Number 1, make sure Plymouth South opens on time and continues to be built for the long term, which also means to continue to invest in the maintenance of all our schools as we have done for many years. Number 2, that creative funding is researched to offset the rising costs behind technology and infrastructure. As technology continues to move at such a fast pace, and the lifespan for computers and other materials is about 3 to 5 years, we have to have a plan to pay for the replacement of those tools in a fiscally responsible manner. It's important that we begin to focus on this to ensure our schools have the technology they need to provide a 21st century education to our students. Number 3, continue to create an environment in our schools that allows all students to thrive. Our student body continues to evolve in Plymouth, and we need to continue to do what we can to ensure all our students have the resources they need and that they feel safe when they're in school. Number 4, with budgets getting tighter and tighter every year, we need to work to make sure we are able to provide our students, teachers, and administrators with the tools they need to be successful. And number 5, I have had the opportunity to go to both Plymouth, England and Shishigahama, Japan, and see the relationships that are built in the world that has opened up to these students who are involved. It's important that we continue to grow this relationship. Now, a little background about me is that I graduated from Plymouth South High School in 2002, and then went on to graduate from Sweetbriar College in 2006 with a degree in History and International Affairs. I also hold 2 master's degrees in Public Administration and Political Science. In my professional life, I have worked in higher education fundraising and alumni engagement for over 10 years. I currently work at Massachusetts Maritime Academy as a Director of Advancement. To find out more about me, please go to my Facebook page, Michelle Badger for Plymouth School Committee, send me an email at michellelbadger@gmail.com, or give me a call at 774-454-8549. Again, my name is Michelle Badger, and I am running for re-election to the Plymouth School Committee. I respectfully ask for your vote on Saturday, May 20th. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Bob Morgan. I'm a candidate for re-election to School Committee in Plymouth. I'd like to thank PAC TV for the opportunity to tell you a little bit about myself and why I want to continue to serve on the school committee. I was born and raised in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, a city about the same population of Plymouth. I attended public schools in Pittsfield and graduated from Pittsfield High School. I went on to Berkshire Community College and graduated with an associate's degree in business administration. Upon graduation, I transferred to North Adams State College and earned a Bachelor's of Science degree in business administration with a concentration in management. While attending Berkshire Community College, I enlisted in the Massachusetts Army National Guard. I served 8 years when I decided to pursue other interests, and I received my honorable discharge in 1990 with the rank of Sergeant E5. Serving in the Guard provided valuable life experiences while enabling me to serve my country and my community. In November of 1999, I accepted a position as a claims supervisor for an insurance company in Boston. 7 months later, my wife Maureen and I moved to Plymouth. We have one son, Connor, who attends Plymouth Community Intermediate School and is involved in Boy Scouts. When I completed my term, I was appointed to the Nuclear Matters Committee and served 2 years on the committee. I was appointed to the Advisory and Finance Committee and served 1.5 years before being reelected to the school committee in 2014. I have experience serving the town in many different capacities. While serving on the school committee, I worked closely with the administration on the budget, policy, and facilities. During my time on the school committee, I served on the policy subcommittee, served as a liaison to our state officials, and on the building and consolidation committees. I served on the building committee during the final stages of the Plymouth North project, which was completed on time and under budget. I wish to continue to serve on the school committee to advocate for a safe environment for our students to learn and grow. I acknowledge the school's responsibility to develop a fiscally responsible budget while providing our educators the tools they need to teach our children. I'm supportive of the administration's use of social media to communicate better with parents, students, and the community. Plymouth is a great place to live, and the schools are an important part of the community. I believe my experience serving on the school committee and other town committees would be an asset to the community. For more information, find me on Facebook at Robert Morgan for Plymouth School Committee. I respectfully request your vote on Saturday, May 20th for School Committee.
Hello, my name is Betty Cavaco. I have been a resident of Plymouth for over 50 years. I am married, and we are blessed with 2 young sons who are both in the Plymouth schools. Perhaps you may know me from my involvement with the Manomet Youth Center or from my time on the Advisory and Finance Committee. But today, I'm reaching out to you as a candidate for a seat on the Board of Selectmen in the town election on May 20th. Plymouth is at a crossroads, and there are many important issues facing us. We still have a serious drug epidemic. How will we pay for the sewer replacement? The ever-increasing town spending, our ever-increasing taxes, the state of our roads, the exit of Pilgrim Station, and the list goes on. In order to deal with these and build a strong community, we need creative problem solving and strong leadership from the selectmen, and that is why I am running. As a resident and mother of 2, I'm concerned about the direction our town is taking as we head into the future. My passion is to help build strong families and strong community. And as someone who has always turned concern into action, I just can't stand on the sidelines and watch. People know me as a doer, not a talker, but I am also a listener. And in talking with the residents from the villages and neighborhoods that make up our town, I have developed a platform that I believe can guide us. The hallmark of my campaign, from my coffees with the candidate, my social media presence, my open office hours on Court Street, will always be all about listening to the residents of Plymouth. I am your voice, and that is what our government needs to return to. As selectman, I'll be committed to working for all the residents of Plymouth. This campaign is not about me, it's about you. And I want to be your voice, and I will work tirelessly to represent you. You know as I do that Plymouth is a unique and amazing community. And I know with all of us talking, thinking, working together, even though we have different perspectives, we can develop and implement the creative solutions that will move Plymouth forward into a remarkable future. The successful future of Plymouth completely depends on you. I am a candidate for selectmen, and I want you to know that I am focused, persistent, committed, and will work hard for the residents of our community. Please vote on May 20th, and I respectfully ask for your vote. Remember, your voice matters.
Dear Plymouthian, by way of introduction, my name is Clark Corson, and I present myself as one of 6 candidates seeking to be one of your selectmen. As a career lobbyist representing the highly regulated beer industry in all 6 New England states and our nation's capital, my background is one of effectively cutting through bureaucratic red tape to bridge gridlock and effectuate compromise between industry and government. I used this knowledge while serving as chairman of the Kittery, Maine Town Council for 3 years, and I will use the same tools and principles to serve as one of your 5 selectmen if elected on Saturday, May 20th. As John Quincy Adams once said, politics is the art of compromise, something that is sorely absent in Congress today and approaching the same here in Plymouth. Unfortunately, the past several years have witnessed an identifiable deterioration as evidenced by ill-thought decisions, which I will present for your review briefly. Let's begin with the town budget in your pocketbook. In 2017, the budget is approved by the 135 town meeting members, several of whom are town employees or related to town employees, was for $195 million. 3 short weeks ago, this body of town meeting members passed a $225 billion budget. Fellow taxpayers, that is a whopping 13% increase in just 1 year. Over the past 8 years, your property taxes have increased 70.5%. Ask yourselves whether or not your income has kept pace by increasing with your property taxes. Whether you're on a pension or fixed income, I seriously doubt many of you have had that kind of increase in your retirement dollars, if any. I do not believe we have a revenue problem in Plymouth, but I am firmly of the belief that we have a big-time spending problem. For example, do you really have any idea where your hard-earned dollars are going? Well, how about $4 million plus for the Sims House restoration in Manomet? Are you aware that every $1 million spent in the budget is 10 cents on your tax rate, which now stands at $16.58 per 1,000 valuation? And did you know that in 2018, your tax rate will increase by a minimum of $1.14 per 1,000 evaluation? Which means that if your house is presently assessed at $325,000, next year your property taxes will increase by at least $354. The real question is, how much input do you have in how your money is spent? And then there is the wastewater sewer break, the cost thereof, and who will pay for it. Our community is being torn apart over who is responsible and who should pay, and this decision will be voted on by your next Board of Selectmen, who also serve the town as your sewer commissioners. At its inception, the Board of Selectmen were negligent in mandating that every house that could must tie into the line. So today, as a result, we have 3,500 or so ratepayers, commonly known as users, and then some 10,000 geographically qualified residential tie-ins who have since invested in their own privately owned and maintained septic systems. Approximately 5,800 Plymouth residents who reside at Ocean Point, Red Brook, the Pine Hills, White Cliffs, etc., also have their own sewer treatment plants. I have a plan whereby concessions will have to be made by the town and certain developers to assure that all our residents and businesses pay equitably. That divisiveness that is fracturing America's oldest town must end for the benefit of all, young and old alike. There is a way, if we get rid of the egos and profit motives of a few and come together for good of all our citizens. Are these the range of decisions you choose to have the old guard, commonly referred to as townies, make for you and your children going forward, just as they have been? Every single one of the 5 other candidates have had a say in Plymouth politics and its governance. Are you happy with what they have done for you? Your property taxes and the foolish spending choices should help you reach the conclusion that real change is needed. As a matter of fact and principle, real change is way overdue. And finally, if you're a veteran, thank you for your service. Or if you know a veteran, one way of thanking them for their service is by exercising your right to vote. These are but a few of the reasons why I ask for your consideration at the polls on Saturday, May the 20th. When I say axe the tax, that's exactly what I mean. Axe the tax. Enough is enough.
Planning, analysis, and solution-based outcomes, the themes of Mark Garrett's years of public service to Plymouth and run for selectmen. Having grown quickly, Plymouth now deals with urban issues and a population that demands services that cost. The Board of Selectmen must have the temperament to thoughtfully evaluate these very complex taxpayer issues. We must also be relentless in confronting the opioid epidemic with unmatched resolve. We are losing our children, we are losing our soul. This must end now. Plymouth has converted many parcels into single-family residential use to address a 400% population growth over the past 60 years, creating a burden to the residential tax base. Plymouth must employ business development strategies developed in the endorsed Industrial Lands Committee report, which I helped co-author, to increase the non-residential tax base to determine who will be shouldering the future tax load. Purchasing public open space is worthwhile, but we cannot remove too much land stock from the tax rolls. Plymouth needs to incentivize privately held open space, allowing those lands to still generate tax revenue. Ecotourism should be incorporated into the public open space program to gain a return on our public investment. Additionally, enhancing tourism and protecting the environment towards its long-term sustainability. Public infrastructure has long been neglected due to short-term economic view. The replacement of a 40-plus-year-old high school and a 20-plus-year-old sewer main are testimony to this. With costs rising, Plymouth cannot afford such gaffes in judgment. Regardless of what is said, no one has ever lowered taxes. Increased public services require increased public revenue. I will work to moderate this trend to the greatest extent possible. Education is a necessary investment in Plymouth's future. Our town needs to continue to be vigilant in maximizing public dollars spent towards student education and not towards trendy programs and gadgets. We all benefit from the municipal wastewater system, including those on private or Title V systems. From our use of downtown amenities to a cleaner harbor and beach to periodic discharges from our own private systems, we all benefit and need to share in its repair cost. The ratepayers did not make the failed decisions of the past. Lack of leadership did. Lincoln once said, we must rely on the better angels of our nature, and that holds true right now for our neighbors. We must administer a fair but scaled program to pay off this debt and to consider every available option to lessen the burden and work to identify future wastewater disposal needs throughout the community. We must offset the financial impacts of the planned closure by using both on- and off-site business land use development practices. Given the existing distribution infrastructure, if feasible, repurposing the site into another energy production facility may be a good fit. Other green energy options beyond wind or solar, such as tidal energy generation or high-capacity battery storage, should be investigated. A long-term commitment to applying pressure on the federal delegation to remove all on-site waste, as originally promised, must continue. In the end, Plymouth must strive toward economic sustainability. Toward that, I, Mark Garrett, humbly ask for your vote for Selectmen on Saturday, May 20th. Thank you all.
My name is Paul McAuliffe, and I'm a candidate for the Board of Selectmen in the town of Plymouth. I am a dedicated Plymouth resident and elected official. I have 17 years of leadership on the Plymouth Planning Board and as chair for 2. I served as a town meeting member for 4 years, as well as on the Cedarville Steering Committee, which I also chaired. In addition, I have years of service on various other town committees. Through these years of dedicated service in the town, I have always been a strong supporter of common sense as it relates to the taxpayer and economic development, the permitting process, affordable housing, alternative energy. I will work for the best interest of the town of Plymouth and for you. As a member of the Board of Selectmen, first, I will work to stabilize our tax rate. One way to stabilize the tax rate is to increase the commercial tax base. Increased commercial development will help alleviate the burden on the residential taxpayer. To accomplish this goal, I collaborated with board members, town foundations, to bring positive commercial development into the town. A recent example of this is the industrial 28-acre lot subdivision at 103 Hedges Pond Road. In conjunction with the Plymouth Economic Development Foundation, we worked to secure that site for Tonka Truck LLC's company headquarters. This company will generate new excise tax revenues, personal property tax, new jobs. This is good for all of Plymouth. Secondly, I'm working on streamlining the permitting process. Through the Planning Board, I initiated a request for fall town meeting to remove the Design Review Board from this process. This is a redundant step, as new proposals are reviewed by the Planning Board and the Zoning Board of Appeals. Also, I am reaching out to the village steering committees for their approval to attend the Planning Board meetings, rather than hold separate meetings regarding industrial development. Streamlining the permitting process will save time and money for both the proponent and for the town. Finally, I believe it is important to maintain and improve the quality of life for all Plymouth citizens. As a member of the CPC, I have voted for preservation of open space for workforce housing and Habitat for Humanity. Our veterans, our children, and their families should continue to be able to call Plymouth their hometown. In closing, please vote for me, Paul McAuliffe, for the Board of Selectmen. I thank you in advance for your support.